And so is history repeating itself? We've got some breaking news suggesting that FTX are suspending their withdrawals. This is the second largest exchange in the whole world, the biggest one in the US. Could they be falling into the same trap as Terra Luna? A lot of people are fearful right now. This is triggering a bank run. We're going to sit here and spend some time together. If you guys have any questions, hit me up in the comments. I'll try to cover off your questions. Just an impromptu live stream, really, just to catch up. If you've not seen my video from earlier today, go watch that. Watch the one from yesterday as well. That will cover off everything you need to know about how FTX, Alameda Research got into this pickle. But now, breaking news just minutes ago, the block initially broke the news to suggest that we are not able to withdraw, right? And if you head on over to Etherscan, which I did to go check, you can see that everything is coming in and there's not much going out here on Ethereum. Apparently, it's the same on Tron. It's the same on the Solana blockchain as well. This is getting a lot of people worried. Now, we're going to cover off what that can mean, whether that means, you know, FTX are in big problems. Got a bunch of people tweeting, oh, no, it's fine. I've managed to withdraw. But the reality is you can get the notification to say you withdrawn, but have you actually got it in your wallet? You need to check that as well. Because so far here on the Ethereum scan here, nothing has gone out for a good couple of hours. Now, that may change over the next few minutes. Who knows? But as of speaking, we can see that this is what's happening right now, right? People are unable to withdraw funds. Now, where do I stand on this whole issue with stopping withdrawals? Now, if you think about it, I said the same thing with Celsius at the time. Stopping the withdrawals only stops the bleeding. And why would you want to stop the bleeding? You only want to stop the bleeding if you don't have the reserves ready. Let me give you a basic analogy. Let's say I borrowed £1 off 100 people, right? So I've got £100 in my pocket. If all of those 100 came to me in one go and said they want their £1 back, why would I need to pause withdrawals? Think about it. I wouldn't, right? If the £100 is in my pocket, I will give each of them £1 each straight away. The only time I would need to pause this if I know I do not have the supply to fit the demand. Now, I may have a net worth of 100, right? Maybe I've given it to my friend and my cousin who's promised me $2 back on $1, etc., but I don't have 100 with me today to give to you. And at that point, I'd have to pause withdrawals, right, to go figure my stuff out. Now, in the case of FTX, maybe they have it. Maybe they've got plenty of reserves. But they have to go and initiate those reserves. It's not like it's all sat there waiting for you in USDT. They invest it, right? They've got some in Solana. They've got some in other projects. They've got to go and liquidate that, which is why we're seeing this mass sell-off. They've got a bunch of Bitcoin, which they're going to have to go liquidate to fulfill. We've seen this time and time again. We saw it with Terra Luna. Do Kwon had to go into his reserves, and he figured that his reserves were not enough. Because when there is a run on an institution, on a company, and we've learned this from traditional finance, it happens very quickly and very powerfully. If all 100 people wanted their £1 back right now, it creates stress on me if I only have £10 in my pocket. I have to go figure out the 90, so I pause withdrawals to try figure my stuff out. And you saw that with Celsius, right? Celsius went ahead and did that. And what Celsius decided to do was they decided that once they paused the withdrawals and they counted the numbers, there was a $2 billion deficit. There was a hole, right? And this is the risk of when things start collapsing. And we saw that they said, oh, it was temporary, and then it never opened back up. So this is one thing for us to monitor. Now, I don't want to be jumping the gun. We've not had any official announcement to say this is paused, but this is our job to kind of look ahead and try to prepare ourselves. And this is one of those signs where if for a couple of hours we've not seen any withdrawals allowed, that's a little bit of a concern, right, guys? Smash up the likes. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. Check out the comment section and put your questions in there, and we can walk through those. Just as a reminder, guys, you got BYBIT offering a really amazing bonus at the moment, $30,000 of sign-up bonuses, which I've not seen ever before. So definitely check those out. But again, I would not just be in BYBIT alone. I would be spreading across. Anything you don't need to touch for a long time should be in cold storage. Straightforward in cold storage. Any of the necessary evil, which is what I call it, that needs to be on an exchange, fine. Keep a small percentage on the exchange. I know you want to buy the dip, you want to trade, you want to do all that stuff, but spread it out. Pick 5-6 exchanges that you like. Doesn't have to be the ones that I've got in the description. Pick your favorite and spread it out. What we've learned is no one big entity is too big to fail, particularly in crypto where we do not have the regulations, we do not have the safeguards. So, you know, I'm seeing a lot of flows coming out from FTX and going straight into Binance. That's a silly move. Just moving it from FTX to Binance doesn't, yes, it might avoid this risk, but you need to diversify. You need to be so that if any one given exchange collapses, you're okay. You're going to survive. You're going to be okay. You're not going to feel the blow too bad. Let's see what's going on in the comments. Kaz, good to see you. Lethal, good to see you. Abdul, hope you're doing well. Yes, Luna 2.0 all over again. Bit similar, some similarities, some differences. I mean, one thing people are getting confused about is trying to compare FTX to Alameda. And I've explained that in the last 2 videos, but just for you guys here, they're different entities, right? They're different entities, but they're connected. And what we aren't saying that FTX is insolvent. FTX could be highly profitable, very solvent as a business. But the problem is the investment arm, which is Alameda, holds a bunch of FTT tokens, the majority of the circulating supply. And they're the ones who are showing the hole in the balance sheet, which we walked through on our video yesterday, right? They're the ones doing this flywheel scheme. And we can see that when we look at the balance sheet, you can see that there is a hole in their holdings, right? 5.8 billion of FTT tokens is what they're holding. So this is where the concern comes, because this creates a contagion, which then affects FTX, which is obviously their token is the FTT token. So it's important that we understand the difference there, okay? Now, let's see what you guys are saying. I always had a funny feeling about FTX. They came out of nowhere and rose too quickly. Should have known when we saw how Sam tied or couldn't tie his own shoes. Ooh, shots fired. Michael Rizzo, just when the miners thought they were going to get a bounce to take the pressure off, miners selling, longs getting wrecked. Sounds like a catalyst for new lows. It's interesting. I mean, it's come at a horrible time, right? I mean, charts. You can see here that Bitcoin was doing all right. You know, we were chugging along, we're doing our thing, we're creating our higher highs. We just posted that higher high there at 21.5. We were like, okay, let's collect some support from 20 and then go work our way to 22. Nice upward trend. And then no, boom. We even navigated the FOMC meeting, right? We had 75 basis points. Jerome Powell was trying to crash the market, and we figured it out. We got through it. So we really didn't need this on a week where we got an important CPI reading on Thursday. Okay, don't miss that out. Midterm elections have started today. And CZ and Sam Bankman-Fried decided to kick off. Justin Johns, did they really pause? I put in some money last week and they required 12 days before I can move it off. Absolutely insane. You've got to be very careful. Not sure how that lockup works. How have you ended up in a 12-day lockup? Is it because it's a new account or something? I personally don't use FTX. I'm not too sure how they work. But definitely, you know, we warned this over the last kind of 48 hours. Even though there's a small chance of them becoming insolvent, I would definitely have taken my money off, because there's no point of what do you gain by having it on? Do you get a cookie for oh my god, you backed FTX through their moment of hardship? They don't give a damn about you, so why do you care? If everybody's running on the bank, you run on the bank as well. You take care of your money, you take accountability. When things wash down, if you love FTX, then you can put your money back in, right? Simple as. If they can't handle the bank run, then technically they weren't prepared for it. That's their problem for not stress testing it. Everybody should be stress testing for this. They should be doing it in traditional finance. They should be doing it in crypto. This is one of the basic things. If you're running an exchange, you have to have a doomsday scenario and you calculate the risk, whether it's a 1 sigma, 2 sigma risk of people running onto the bank and asking for their money back. You've got to be prepared for it. Now, is it an official withdrawal? No. We've not had anything to suggest that just yet, that they've not tweeted. In fact, we can check that together. Let's see if we have a tweet from FTX. And last I checked before we jumped on, nothing. So there you go, nothing yet. 13 hours ago, they tweeted their last thing. Let's see if there's any replies anywhere. Nothing. So they're staying quiet, but it's a bit worrying, right? When you see that for a couple of hours, there's nothing. Let's get a refresh on this to see if there is any new data coming in. Still, everything is coming in, right? From what I can see here. You guys let me know if you can see any different. And just important that we're aware of this, right? We're not caught blindsided. We've seen this with Celsius. We've seen it with others like Voyager as well. We've got to be smart to this. Now, this is going to have bigger repercussions for the market, because it's a bigger player. It's the world's second biggest exchange, and I don't think anybody wins from this. Nobody wins from this. Anybody who doesn't like Sam Bankman-Fried, it doesn't matter, right? Nobody is winning from this. Everybody's going to suffer. The wider crypto space is going to suffer. If you're holding Solana, it's going to suffer. Any reserves that FTX holds, they're going to have to sell to deal with this, right? So it causes more pain across the board. As Hot Sauce just said there, not your keys, not your crypto. Absolutely. Guys, don't forget to smash up the like button. Let's get more people onto this impromptu live stream, because it's not our normal scheduled time. And we could just sit and kind of answer some questions. Let me know, what are you guys concerned about with this developing story? And we can take a look at a few different charts as well if you want to. New account on FTX. They required 12 days after a bank deposit. Thought I was making the right move using them instead of Robinhood for my on-ramp to cold storage. Yeah, it sucks. Look, and this is the worst thing, right? And this is what makes it really hard for the crypto space. For somebody that's trying to navigate the crypto space, who, let's say, started using Robinhood, they're trying to get to a proper exchange, right? Inverted commas, proper exchange. So you go look at the rankings. You go, I'll go with Binance and I'll go with FTX. They're the biggest ones. And you probably opt for FTX because maybe you're based in the US, or you think, okay, that'll be a safer pair. They're better regulated. fine, and you go on on-ramp, and then this kind of thing happens. Now, hopefully, of course, we hope they can navigate through this, and it's just a blip in their history, just like we saw with Tether, right? Tether depegged after the Luna crisis, and they were able to redeem all the withdrawals. They didn't pause withdrawals. They kept redeeming. The FUD dies down, and then you crack on, and people forgot about it. That's all FTX has to do. If they seriously have the money, just do it. Let everybody withdraw, and then you'll notice that once the FUD dies down over the next couple of days, business will be back as usual. Those deposits will flow back in, and you would have proven yourself to be stronger. But all this stuff where you start with pausing withdrawals, this could be a concern. So if they are doing that and they're having to buy some time to rejuggle, that's going to create a nervy market, because people are scarred, right? They've seen it with Celsius. They saw the drama play out. So even just a whiff of the smell of something, and they're going to be comparing it to Terra Luna, they're going to be comparing it to Celsius, and people are going to panic. So you've got to just, if this was my company, I would just be letting the withdrawals go and just doing whatever it takes to keep that line open. Because as soon as you show signs of pausing, just like we've got now, we've got to cover it, right? Because we've got to say, oh, are they going to turn off withdrawals? Because we saw with Celsius, once they paused the withdrawals and they used the word pause, it never turned back on, right? They went into administration, and the rest was history. Vicky, sorry I'm late. No worries. What you have missed is we are seeing that on Etherscan, there's been a lack of withdrawals. You've not been able to withdraw for a good 3-4 hours. Now, some people are saying in-app, they're getting the notification, they're getting the email saying, oh, it's been successful, but I can't see it on-chain. And that's what the worry is. Are you actually receiving it? Hopefully they can sort this out within the next hour or two. Abdul says Do Kwon and Alex went silent as well before the spiral. Absolutely. This all happens, right? A lot of it, and this is what makes things particularly odd with Sam Bankman-Fried, is once you start ended up in this mess, everything's become so obvious, right? It becomes crystal clear, and everybody's digging up all the different things that Sam Bankman-Fried was doing, and now they're like, oh, this is odd, look how he was trying to lobby for regulation in his favor. He was doing it behind the backs of people like CZ over at Binance. People don't like it, and CZ, interestingly, we covered this off yesterday. CZ isn't just doing this as a business move. He is doing it in extent as shots fired. Because if we go over to his Twitter page, and this is what we covered off. Let's take a look. This is the bit that gets to you, right? When you start to understand that there's more to this. Okay, let's go to here. Right, liquidating our FTT is just post-exit risk management. Okay, so he starts off the tweet by saying that, no, this is, we exited last year, we got a bunch of FTT tokens, it's just prudent business sense that we diversify some of that FTT out and go back to dollars, right? Okay, fine. But then he goes, learning from Luna. So in other words, shots fired, right? He's saying, oh, we've learned from a Luna, we're not going to make the same mistake. So straight away, whether you like it or not, CZ, who's the biggest exchange owner in the world, he's comparing the second largest exchange to what happened with Luna. So he's the one who's done that. And he's got more access to data than you and I have. Let's be honest. He knows how the exchange business works better than all of us combined here on this live stream. So that's the reality of things. Then he goes, we gave support before, but we won't pretend to make love after divorce. In other words, pushing out the ties. We've got nothing to do with you anymore. We are not going against anyone, but we won't support people who lobby against other industry players behind our back. So there's some resentment there from CZ. So anybody who's just saying, oh, no, this is a business transaction from CZ, no. There's something he knows, but also there's some resentment there that is leading him to do this. So it is, whether it's a strong attack is no, but it is an attack timed at a moment that they're in difficulty. He could have, he could have approached this a different way, or his wording could have been different, but you can see that, there's something going on more than what it appears on the surface, okay? He definitely knows something, and that's what's getting the market a little bit nervous, right? Somebody like CZ doesn't just tweet things like that for no reason. See who we've got in here. JH, do you think there is a major risk of contagion, RE, other exchanges? Yes. It's important you brought this up. If you guys haven't watched my video from earlier today, you've got to go check that out, because contagion is a real thing. Anybody who thinks, oh, I don't hold FTT, I don't use the FTX exchange, it doesn't matter. You're going to get wrecked. I mean, look at where Bitcoin is right now. Bitcoin's sitting there at 19,500 with nothing super major happening yet, right? Imagine if they actually tweet or officially say that we've paused withdrawals. You can then account for another fall down, right? 18,700 is your next support. Then you imagine things even get worse and they go down, we play out the worst case scenario. Things are going to get ugly for the wider markets. I mean, and that's just generally contagion effect, but there is immediate effect as well of things like Solana, of Bitcoin. If they're selling their reserves of Bitcoin, they're going to have to dump their Bitcoin on the market. They have to dump their Solana on the market. What else do they hold? They're going to have to dump all those things onto the market, and it creates a contagion. I mean, I was reading that, for example, I think it was FTX, Alameda held some BitDAO tokens, right? And one of the things in the contract was they had to hold it for a certain amount of time. But they're going to start dumping this if they're in desperation of getting liquidated as a company. If they're going to start dumping a bunch of tokens, it's going to affect a lot of different projects, and we don't know where their tentacles are. Remember, these are two of the biggest platforms in the space, right? If you had a sponsorship with FTX, if you were aligned or had a partnership with FTX, or if Alameda Research was invested in a blockchain, that was a big stamp of approval. That was a big deal. This is a different tier above Celsius and Voyager. Celsius and Voyager were always lower down, and we saw the effect that had, right? Let alone an exchange like FTX. I mean, this really could be a defining moment, and I really hope that they manage to work through this. I don't think, there's still plenty of time for them to figure this out, but I'm always of the ilk that there's no smoke without fire, and there is definitely something they're trying to work through, and they've got to show their strength in doing so. And if we can get through this, then great. Let's work our way through to our next bull run. But also, if we don't, this could be a real defining moment, just like Mt. Gox was, right? It could be a real defining moment, and it's going to make the Voyager Celsius collapse look like nothing. And that's the worry. CGL Poker, what is the best private key to hold your crypto? You can get the ledgers, right? NanoX, those kind of things. They're all pretty much the same thing. Just pick which one you like, whichever one's compatible with the coins you hold. You can use software wallets as well, things like Trust Wallet. Work well, and then if you need to keep a little bit on exchanges, then fine, but try to keep the majority of your long-term holds elsewhere. Really, really important. Michael Rizzo, I guess the difference is that Doe was dumping Bitcoin to stabilize UST, so would it create that kind of cascading loss with BTC like it did with Terra? Yes, but what if FTX have to do the same? What if they have to start selling their reserves? And here's the crazy thing. So if we come on to FTT right now here on the charts, we are down 30% today, okay? So forget the 22 that Caroline was trying to offer CZ. You're now down at 15 on FTT. This is falling bad. And this is what we said. Once you lose that 22 cent mark on FTT, you are spiraling out of control because there is little to no support. This support line was held since summer of 2021. Things get really ugly all the way down to even $7, $8, $9, $10 around here. This cluster you've got around here, right? So then what happens is, and I guess this is where it gets crazy. CZ is yet to sell yet. He's not sold yet. He was just positioning himself, moving the FTT to the Binance exchange, ready to sell. He said it's going to take a couple of weeks for him to sell. So that affects this is just people panicking in the lead up to it, moving the funds. Now we got Solana falling. We don't know whether the Solana fall here of 7% is just Solana falling because people are scared, or if Alameda or FTX are having to sell some Solana position to raise some funds for the withdrawals. Okay, so we need to understand that as well. Okay, any Sol holders that are still believers in Sol? I'm not selling mine, but it's only about 5% of my holdings. Yeah, so I hold mine still. I covered this off in this morning's video. I'm losing conviction rapidly. If I didn't have such a low cost basis on Solana and this was just the pure bag I was holding, I probably would be looking at offloading at some point. Not because of this event. I mean, these events happen, and you've got to be able to navigate them. They can happen to any crypto. You can be investing in Phantom or Matic or Bitcoin or anything else, and you face this period of adversity. But it's just because of the downtime. It's the downtime and the lack of technical prowess this year that has really frustrated me. And that's one of the reasons that I'm not currently adding anymore, even though the price is falling. I'm just kind of ignoring it as a part of my portfolio because it is quite a small part of my portfolio, and I'm not as bothered about it. Hello, sir. They have all paused withdrawals. Is it confirmed? Let me know if it's confirmed, guys, because obviously I'm on this live stream now, so it's hard for me to check. But do let me know if you see any confirmations. Marco Van Lagen, I like the live shows. Oh, I appreciate you, buddy. Am I taking speculative longs? No. I'm not taking any speculative longs right now. I do not like catching a falling knife, guys. And I know a lot of people are trying to catch the bounce. But I mean, this disaster could just be the early innings of this unfolding. And that's what I'm worried about. Like, this could have so many layers to it. Like I said, Binance not even sold yet. We don't know how much FTX have sold of their Solana positions and Bitcoin positions. We don't know if they're actually going to officially pause withdrawals as well. Let's just get a retweet over FTX just to make sure we're not missing anything. Feel free to ask any questions, guys, in the comments. Don't forget to hit up the like button. There's a bunch of you in here, but you've not hit the like button. Please do. It really does support these live streams. I know you're probably fed up of people on YouTube asking for likes, but it really does help. So do smash up the likes. It means more people will see this live stream. And we'll work through your questions here. FTX might survive, but FTT is wrecked. I think they're one and the same, right? This is the problem. If FTT gets wrecked, what is FTX going to do? FTX is going to have to prop it up. It has to prop it up, and this is part of the issue. Prashant says CZ wants the market to dump. And yeah, interesting point. I tweeted this a little while ago as well. A lot of people are saying, is this just manipulation? Is this just people trying to get the market to dump so they can load their bags? It's an interesting take, right? You could argue that that is the situation that's playing out, right? Is it just them trying to push the price back to that 18,000 level so they can accumulate? Maybe some of the whales want to do that. I think there's a little bit more to that. Marco, does my BYBIT chart work? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Does my charts work? Yeah, they work. Sam says BlackRock want to buy FTX. Not sure. Not read anything about that. More pain for Solana. Yeah, a lot of people worried about Solana, and that makes complete sense because much more people hold Solana, have exposure to Solana than they do FTT token. And I think that's why a lot of the focus is on Solana right now falling. And look, I can't back Solana too much right now, just because of the downtime. Really frustrating. And if you're on Team Solana, what a frustrating time for this to happen. I tweeted this out earlier on today as well. You've had a horrible year. You've had a lot of downtime. You think, okay, we've got our block, whatever they call it, their blockchain summit thing, their conference over in Lisbon. And we're going to have a positive week, right? We're going to announce some new features. We're going to show our Solana phone, and maybe the price will pump. But no, this had to happen whilst they're over at their summit. So really, really sucked for Solana. Tough time they're going through. But it's a strong blockchain. It's a strong blockchain. The only concern is these guys hold a lot of it. So they can dump the market just through how much they hold, even though it's a big blockchain. Shane says, just bought Doge Bear on FTX. You proper DJ, you. Jason, thanks, Ijaz. New to the crypto market. So should we just hold? Whenever anybody asks me to whether I should hold, it comes down to conviction, right? What's your conviction in any given project? If you're holding FTT right now, would I say hold? Ooh, I would have been out a couple of days ago, right? If I held FTT. But the question would be, would you hold FTT without believing in the exchange and understanding who owns all the circulating supply? If you're holding other coins, then yeah, I mean, like, for example, me, I'm not suddenly panicking today and selling my whole portfolio. No. I'm looking for opportunities to nibble in. And if we see any significant breaches of key levels, depending on what's going on in the wider markets, I will look to nibble. So you guys know I like this level at 18,700. I've had plenty of time to be buying at that level, but I do like to nibble at there. Now, depending on what's happening in the market, if I'm not seeing that things are deteriorating badly, maybe I'll take a nibble there. But if I think things are bad, the FTX issue is getting worse, there's more news that comes out, then maybe I'll wait for even lower. Maybe I'll be looking out for 17,600 as an area to be buying the dip in instead. Guys, got to hit that like button for me, guys. Please do hit that like button. Elron just crashed, apparently. Marco saying his BYBIT chart is down. I cannot trade. That's very odd. Alex says, oh man, everything is going down big time. Absolutely. Absolutely. Horrible week here. 19,300 here on Bitcoin. And guess what's going to conflate this even more is if this continues throughout this week and gets worse, and then you've got your CPI reading. Oh man, indeed. What are we going to do? And we just have to be like, oh man. Michael goes, that decoupling from the traditional markets is in the wrong direction. Absolutely. And again, I appreciate everybody's frustration here because in a horrible long bear market. And finally, we started to see some green shoots, right? We're seeing things start to move in the right direction. Bitcoin showing some strength. This then happens, and now the US markets are green. You've got the NASDAQ up 0.5%, S&P up 0.5%, Dow Jones up almost 0.9% here. Decent move today, given that the midterms are starting. And yeah, we just kind of sat here waiting for news on FTX, which is not great, is it? If anybody's got any updates on FTX, let me know or tweet me, and I'll pull it up here, and we can take a look at it. But in essence, most people think it's this. Most people are saying it's Luna 2.0 crash all over again. And I can't blame you. When we've been scarred this much during this bear market, we're bound to think bad when we hear these kind of rumors. And the one thing is for sure, Alameda's balance sheet does not look good. Whether FTX is solvent or not, we're going to find out through if they can fulfill all the withdrawals. If they've been set up in the right way, and they can fulfill the withdrawals, we should not have any pauses of withdrawals. They should have the cash on hand in a separate account waiting for you to withdraw it. If they don't, then they're going to be exposed. And if they get exposed, then you will see a spiraling effect to the downside, just like Celsius was exposed, just like Voyager was exposed. And that's the risk. Okay? Remember, when the tide goes out, you find out who was swimming with no shorts. Right? All of these companies get away with this in the bull market. It's in these deep, long, painful bear markets where they're just hanging on, hoping that the bull market comes back in to save them. Find out these bad practices. And guess what? It's good. It's good for us in the long run because we can flush out these bad practices and continue on to the next bull run with the projects that are fit to survive. And that's what's key here. Is Voyager deal in jeopardy? Probably. I guess they got bigger fish to fry right now, one step. They've got to sort this out before worrying about buying anybody else. How are the midterm affecting this? I think right now the crypto markets aren't really pricing in the midterms. They couldn't care less right now about midterms. This is all driven by FTX, the second biggest crypto exchange, having a bit of a challenge, having a defining moment. And look, they can come out two ways. They can come out really strong from this, clarify the FUD, process the withdrawal rules. That's the key. Keep making sure people can get their money out. Stop giving people their money. The rumors will continue to spread. It's not FUD. If I go into your Ether scan and can see that nobody's been able to take money out, that's not FUD. It's me following the data. Now you come out and tell us otherwise and keep processing it for people. It's one thing you sending them an email saying, yeah, we've processed your withdrawal request. Everybody gets excited. Yeah, I withdrew my £100. No, you didn't. I can't see it on the Ether scan that you've done that. Right? So it's important that we actually look at the data to see where are those outs? Where are those outs? Where people are able to actually withdraw here. Barney, good to see you here. Yes, you are late indeed. It was impromptu, so don't blame you here. Hello, sir. Can you share with us what are members of this channel entitled to? What type of members? You're talking about YouTube? YouTube members, I mean, people can just join if they want to kind of support the channel. There's not really much that's, you can see the join button. But the main membership are our course member live stream. So what we do is, if you join on Ijaz.UK/member, it's about $30 a month. You get 3 weekly live streams, okay? Giving all my thoughts. So, for example, yesterday we jumped on, bunch of TA, answered questions, told you what I'm doing in the market, how am I navigating things, your portfolio critique, tokenomics, basically anything you want to cover live in that moment, and also knowing what I'm doing in the market as well. So that's what happens on those. My TA course is completely free. So Ijaz.UK/TA, you get access to my full TA course for free. I mean, that would have cost thousands of dollars. That's available to you guys for free. So definitely go work your way through that. And then maybe join the membership, $30 a month, and then work through any questions you have and actually start applying that knowledge, right? Because it's one thing having the knowledge. You've also got to be able to apply it to the markets as well. Hot Sauce says, where is Andre and his memes when he need him? I don't think we need him right now. It's irrelevant. I think he should just be quiet and save these memes for a green day, right? Where it can have more impact. Right now, him just posting a meme and wasting his ammunition is a bit silly, right? It's better that the market's going to be red today. It's going to be red today. It is what it is. See it as an opportunity to buy your favorite place. And it's interesting, actually, speaking about Andre and Phantom, this is where the crypto space becomes very, very complicated, because you now need to look at all the other tentacles that Alameda are researching, which projects, who are they supporting, who's holding FTT tokens. Like, it gets really, really messy. And that's where projects like Phantom kind of benefit a lot better, right? A lot of people complain that, oh, look, Phantom didn't have VC backing. Companies like Alameda weren't supporting them. They were too busy supporting Solana. Well, in these moments, that's where it's kind of better for you to be doing this on your own, right? Do it solo and slow. Randy, in your opinion, is this going to get way worse for other cryptos not related to Solana or FTT? Yes. In short, if FTT go down the progression of getting worse, which would be like an official announcement saying we've paused withdrawals, plus them struggling or we see some issues, this will tank, in my opinion, will tank the crypto market a lot more. And it'll be worse than the Luna one. I think we'll go lower than 17,600. Just my gut feeling. This would send a lot of shockwaves in the crypto space if they were seriously to get there. Now, I don't think they're there yet. Hopefully this is just a glitch and they just needed some time to figure some stuff out, and they keep redeeming those withdrawals, then it's great, right? We can crack on. Guys, please do hit up the like button. Bunch of you in here. I do need that like button smashed if you appreciate this live stream to cover off some of your concerns. I'm just doing this just to answer your questions. I know a lot of you are really concerned in this market right now. You don't understand quite what's going on and how it's affecting your coins. You might not hold FTT. You might not necessarily use FTX, but still you want to know how does it affect your investment. So do take this opportunity to ask me any questions. We'll sit here for a little while longer, and then we can jump off. Sam, why would HBAR drop so bad today? Everything's dropping, right? Everything's going to be dropping, and anything which has had a little bit of a run recently is more likely to drop. Doug, good to see you. Good afternoon, buddy. What percentage is Algorand and HBAR in your portfolio? HBAR is like infinitesimally small, like very tiny speculative hold. Algorand is a small percentage. You're not going to give away the exact percentage because people just copy. Small percentage of the layer 1 section of my portfolio. So layer 1 is a certain percentage. And then of that, I've got the bigger layer 1s, right? Like things like Cardano, Solana in there. And then kind of it gets smaller. So Algorand and Phantom are a bit smaller percentage of that section. Randy, thanks for your opinion. You're welcome, buddy. Cool. So let's also take a look at a few other things as well. So FTT, we've seen. Let's see how Binance is doing, because interestingly, Binance, people are speculating, would be benefiting from. They've held up pretty strong. They look like they're coming down just to test the 318 level, perhaps, for some support. But they're probably the only one holding up okay, right? If you look at it relatively speaking, Binance versus Bitcoin is up 2%. Right? Because Binance, if you look at it, Bitcoin's down 6% today. Binance is only down 4%. So you've got the 2% alpha there holding Binance versus Bitcoin today. So Binance holding up pretty well. A lot of people are flowing across into Binance and seeing them as a strong. Again, I wouldn't put anyone on a pedestal, right? None of these platforms deserve to be on a pedestal. No single blockchain should be on a pedestal. Treat this very, very pragmatically and split your portfolio. Be diversified. Why is it that we all, I guess it's human nature maybe, we want to put people on a pedestal, we want to have this supreme leader kind of figure that we're like, yeah, CZ's the best, Binance is the best. Why? Just diversify. They're all exchanges, they're all human, they all make mistakes, and they're all in the crypto space, which has proven itself time and time again to be the most volatile space. Do you think we'll see a resolution with FTX by the end of the week, whether it's for the better or worse? Good question. It could take longer, to be honest. I think that the next step is going to be, do FTX pause withdrawals, and how quickly can they keep this flywheel going? Because so you got this balance, right? You've got this balance of them keeping enough reserves whilst the FUD starts dying out. Now, the problem is, if you can just keep meeting all the withdrawal requests, everybody's withdrawing right now, and you keep meeting them, it's like you're showing such strength. You're like a wall of certainty that everybody who's nervous to take out their money from FTX, like you may be watching this live stream, you go take out your FTX, you're taking your money out fine, it gives you that confidence, right? It gives you that confidence. And so the only thing that's going to further perpetuate this FUD is if they pause those withdrawals, or we see things like we're streaming today, which is when we go into Etherscan and see that people aren't actually redeeming their money, right? So this starts them perpetuating it, and it can take longer. So it's just a case of when, right? So coming back to my analogy at the beginning of the live stream, 100 people have given me $1 each, right? And they want to redeem their dollar. How many of those can I redeem? If I can redeem, let's say in my pocket, nobody knows the answer, but apart from me, I've got $90, right? So I'm insolvent, and I'm going to go bankrupt because I owe 100, I've only got 90. But for a long time, I can keep redeeming. I can redeem 1, up to 90, and I can drag that on for many weeks. So it's just a case of when, not if, we find out, are they solvent or are they not? It's very basic. Is there a hole in the balance sheet or is there not? And Sam Bankman-Fried already know the answer. He already knows the answer. We just don't know it. And that's what it's got to play out. And that's what played out with Celsius as well. Doug says Matic and BNB. Dylan says scam tankman fired man. You lot creative. Do you think BNB will take a bigger hit if Binance liquidates the FTX coins? No, I can't see why. I'm not connecting the two of them. I don't think that's going to have any issues. If anything, it's going to have an issue on FTX, right? And that's what's going to happen. There's going to be more downward pressure on the FTT token, which is already falling 33%. This FTT token's already at $14, and Binance has not even started selling yet. They've got $2 billion to sell. It's insane. I mean, it's going to be painful for the FTT token. Remember, they've got to keep propping this up. they've got to prop this up. They have to buy it from whoever's got it. They've got to buy CZ's bag as well, right? They've got to keep buying all of that when he dumps it on the market. Otherwise, it's going to keep falling to zero. That's going to be the issue. So again, just want to reiterate that for everybody who's misunderstanding. FTX can be solvent. FTX can be highly profitable. But if Alameda is in difficulty, which is where this all started, looking at their balance sheet, then FTX are going to have to come and help them. And if they help them, help bail out Alameda, then they've got less funds to kind of fulfill the withdrawals and be solvent on their side. So it's like a, you know, which one do you save? Do you save your eldest or your youngest? It's a tricky one. Ian, what's up, fellas? Good to see you, buddy. Always good to have you on the live streams. Yep, 2 billion includes the BUSD. That's correct. We actually don't know the split. Well, I don't know the split exactly. If FTX have given us any news. Still nothing from FTX. Still nothing. Let's refresh Etherscan. You guys check this as well, right? Sense check this, fact check this, because I'm just looking here and I can see here 3:34 my time. Sitting here, all ins, right? These are all ins. I can't see any outs, and that's just odd, right? Normally you see some outs in here showing that people are taking money out of the exchange. At the moment, this is money coming into the exchange, which is obviously they want money to come in because it gives them solvency. Fourth in a row. Could this be the end for crypto? Hopefully this will be the last exchange that will collapse. No, I do not think this will be the end for crypto. I think each of these are bad for crypto. It slows our adoption down. It spooks people out. It means regulators will be more on our backs and less trusting than ever. I mean, think about it. This is a guy, Sam Bankman-Fried, who has been paying politicians, who've been lobbying the government for regulatory change and has been trying to be someone that they can trust. Right? So he's sitting there trying to show them that I am the epitome of crypto. I am the, you know, this is what you should be trusting. We are innovators. We want to bring good into the space. We want to do better, and you should allow us to be innovative here in the US. And for him to then suffer this kind of consequence would be very difficult. Now, he could come out in a shining light and fix all this and say, guys, look, you gave me the ultimate FUD, and I dealt with it. And if he does, great. Good stuff. You're well capitalized, dealt with the FUD, and I think every exchange should be able to do that. Right? And if you can't, then shame on you. What are you running? What kind of risk management are you doing? We did that. We did a deep dive into Voyager and showed bad practices. We did a deep dive into Celsius, horrific practices. Right? And that's what we continue to see here. Fundamentally, the issue here is you're deriving value and marking value to your balance sheet FTT tokens, which you have printed. So you print FTT over FTX, you mint them, you give it to Alameda Research, you pump the price of your FTT token by sponsoring a stadium and doing all these kind of things, and then Alameda's balance sheet is apparently growing when it's all growing on paper value, on worthless, not very liquid assets such as FTT, where you own the majority of supply, which if you actually try to sell to liquidate your balance sheet, you would have no value. So it's not a strong balance sheet. All right, so let's also take a quick look at the Fed rate monitor tool. Fed rate monitor tools, we've got to look at this because the market is 50% is still pricing in a pivot. So 50% of the market is still expecting 50 basis points at the next FOMC meeting, which is just 5 weeks or so away from where we're at today. So that's on December the 14th. Remember, the CPI reading comes out on Thursday, which could affect this, could cause a little bit of volatility in the markets. For traditional markets, crypto markets, we've already got a bit of fear. Now, interestingly, if we take a look at the fear and greed index, it's sitting at 31. So the market's still feeling okay. I think once you refresh this tomorrow, this is going to dump down to the 20s, right? 22, 23 kind of range, given what's going on. Now, I do want to wait for clarification. I want to see exactly what is going on with these withdrawals. Have they officially withdrawn it? But again, if I held any FTX right now or any funds in FTX, I wouldn't be waiting for the cry that we're in trouble for me to withdraw my funds, right? I think that's just a clever lesson for all of us to practice. Not fall in love with any given one exchange. Not fall in love with any given one influencer. Do not fall in love with any one given blockchain. Be what's the word? Agnostic, right? Just be diversified, have multiple investments, and just do not get married to any one given thing. I think that's the best way to kind of build wealth in crypto. Of course, not financial advice. Guys, don't forget to check out ijaz.uk/TA if you want to learn technical analysis from EMA ribbons to head and shoulders patterns to Fibonacci retracements to stochastic RSIs to how to use pricing charts and what's a doji candle, what's a dragonfly candle, all this stuff completely free. Guys, this will cost you thousands of dollars if you go and try buy that anywhere else. You're getting it for free. It took me 10 years to learn that from traditional finance, from official trading, and definitely go make use of that. And if you want to become a member, ijaz.uk/member, $30 a month, but you get 3 times live streams with us, with our tight-knit community. You can ask questions in real time to help you navigate this complicated crypto space. Thanks for jumping on this live stream, guys. If you want to see more live streams like this, let me know in the comments and with the thumbs up, because when I analyze all the streams later on, if I'll see what gets the thumbs up, and therefore, what do you guys resonate with? Do you resonate with the normal videos? Do you resonate with these live streams in emergency situations like this? So do hit up the like button on your way out. Drop me a comment as well, and I'll see you in the next one.